The Concorde supersonic transport lifts off the runway at JFK International Airport on October 20, 1977. Its first test flights stayed well below the threshold of acceptable noise levels. Bettman Getty Read More. The rock band Boston poses for a Cream magazine star's Cars shoot in Swampscott, Massachusetts, in August of 1977. Band members, From Left, are Barry Goudreau, Sib Hashian, Tom Scholz, Brad Delp, and Fran Sheehan. Round panel. Getty Read More. Chief Justice Warren Burger administers the oath of office to Jimmy Carter as the 39th President of the United States on January 20, 1977, as Mrs. Carter watches, in Washington, D.C. Bettman Getty Read More. Ethiopian youths in red communist uniforms attend celebrations on May 1, 1977, in the capital city of Addis Ababa. At the time, the country was a one-party communist state called the People's Democratic Republic of Ethiopia. William Campbell Sigma via Getty Read More. Radio Shack's new TRS-80 microcomputer system uses a computer keyboard to plug into an included 64-column video monitor, programmed by cassette tapes played on a home cassette player, shown at the Boston Computer Show on August 25, 1977. From Left, visitors Robert Lundgren of Des Plaines, Illinois, Malcolm McLeod of Montreal, and Radio Shack salesman Stephen Carlozzi of Brockton, Massachusetts. CMAP Read More. Trying to adjust a hose, a fireman slips and falls on the frozen site of a warehouse fire on New York's West Side on January 13, 1977. Bettman Corbus Getty Read More. A string of white vehicles follow the hearse carrying the body of rock and roll musician Elvis Presley along Elvis Presley Boulevard on the way to Forest Hills Cemetery in Memphis, Tennessee, on August 19, 1977. Thousands of people lined the route for the city's final tribute to Elvis. He died at home in Memphis on August 16, 1977, at the age of 42. AP Read More. A black Rhodesian prisoner stands with a rope tied around his neck to prevent escape, placed there by Rhodesian cavalrymen, background, who detained him for questioning in Lupane, southern Rhodesia, in September of 1977. Rhodesia's white-dominated government was countering black Rhodesian guerrilla activities with militant armed forces. The minority white government, descendants of European settlers, fought to maintain control of the unrecognized state of Rhodesia from 1965 until 1979, when pressure from international sanctions and years of guerrilla war forced a settlement, leading to a vote, which resulted in majority rule, and the creation of the country we now know as Zimbabwe. J. Ross Bauman. A P. Read More. With help from his parents, David Vetter, 6, of Houston, Texas, walks for the first time outside the isolation bubble he has lived in all his life. David is wearing a germ-free suit called the Mobile Isolator System, developed by NASA in cooperation with the Texas Children's Hospital, at an estimated cost of $20,000. David was born with severe combined immune deficiency. The cart carries a life support system and a chair for David. David died in February of 1984, at the age of 12, following a bone marrow transplant. Texas Children's Hospital. AP Read More. A view of the New York City skyline and Brooklyn Bridge at sunset during a citywide blackout on July 14, 1977. Bettman Getty Read More. Looters, young and old, leave an AP supermarket at Ogden Avenue and 166th Street in the Bronx through a broken window as they carry off their stolen wares. Authorities arrested thousands of looters, in at least 3 boroughs of the city, as the looters took advantage of the city's massive blackout in July of 1977. Bettman Getty Read More. Actor Arnold Schwarzenegger poses during the 38th Cannes Film Festival. The actor presented the movie Pumping Iron, a documentary which was to spread his fame beyond bodybuilding circles, on May 19, 1977. AFP Getty Read More. Israeli Prime Minister Menachem Begin left and Egyptian President Anwar Sadat meet in Ismailia, Egypt, for Christmas Day talks on reaching a Middle East peace settlement in 1977. Bettman Getty Read More. American golfer Arnold Palmer kicks off the Trophy Lancome Golf Tournament on November 13, 1977, hitting a shot from the Eiffel Tower in Paris. AFP Getty Read More. An unidentified man is chased by a group of demonstrators protesting the visit of the Shah of Iran in Washington, D.C., on November 15, 1977. The man reportedly made a comment supporting the Shah. Jeff Taylor. AP Read More. The Space Shuttle Orbiter Enterprise, riding piggyback on its 747 mothership, takes off from the test facility at Edwards Air Force Base in California on June 18, 1977, for its maiden manned flight. Aboard the Space Shuttle on its first manned flight are orbiter astronauts Fred C. Hayes and Charles G. Fullerton. Bettman Getty Read More Anthony Kiritsis holds a sawed-off 12-gauge shotgun wired to Richard Hall's head in front of scores of newsmen and police in Indianapolis, Indiana, on February 10, 1977. He demanded several $1 million ransom, gave a rambling, obscenity-filled statement, then released Hall later. He had kidnapped Hall from his downtown office 63 hours earlier and held his hostage in his apartment. Hall was released unharmed, and Kiritsis, while found not guilty by reason of insanity, ended up spending years in a mental institution. Bettman Getty Read More Michael Jackson of the Jackson 5 with Lola Falana at the 1977 American Music Awards in Santa Monica, California. AP Read More in 1977, two Boeing 747 airliners collided on the runway of Tenerife Los Rodeos Airport, resulting in the death of 583 people, making it the worst accident in aviation history. Tony Committee Sigma via Getty Read More Brazilian soccer wizard Pelé of the New York Cosmos lifts up Giorgio Chinaglia in his arms after Chinaglia scored the Cosmos' first goal in the Pelé Sayonara game at Japan National Stadium in Tokyo, Japan in September of 1977. The New York Cosmos thrashed the Japanese national all-star team 31. At left are Carlos Alberto and Franz Beckenbauer. Bettman Getty Read More Prince Charles, Prince of Wales, puts on a feather headdress during a ceremony in which he became honorary Chief Red Crow of the Blackfeet Nation during a visit to Alberta, Canada, on July 1, 1977. Anwar Hussein Getty Read More theatergoers wait in line at Avco Center Theater in Los Angeles to see the smash hit movie, Star Wars, which had seats sold out for every performance and has grossed $5.2 million since it opened 12 days prior, on June 7, 1977. AP Read More North Korean leader Kim Jong-il has a test drive in a mock combat plane in the Taesong Amusement Park in Pyongyang, North Korea, on October 2, 1977. Korean Central News Agency AP Read More The Ramones perform on stage. Pictured, from left, are Johnny Ramone, Joey Ramone, Marky Ramone, and Dee Dee Ramone. Lynn Goldsmith Corbis VCG via Getty Read More New York Yankees Reggie Jackson hits a home run in the sixth inning of the fourth game against the Los Angeles Dodgers in the World Series on October 15, 1977. Bettman Getty Read More reporters and pipeline officials wait for the pig, a plug that leads the oil down the pipeline, at the exit of the Alyeska Oil Pipeline Pumping Station No. 1 on Alaska's North Slope on June 21, 1977. Oil began flowing south through the 800-mile-long pipeline for the first time in June of 1977. AP Read More international model and disco queen Grace Jones had just won the award for Most Promising Disco Artist of 1977. Publicity photo made on September 9, 1977. Bettman Getty Read More The assembly line in a factory making supersonic defect detectors and diagnostic devices in Shantou, China, in 1977. Bettman Getty Read More Soviet SA-8 Gecko surface-to air missiles roll through Red Square past a huge portrait of Vladimir Lenin at the annual Bolshevik Revolution Anniversary Parade in Moscow, USSR, on November 7, 1977. Boris Yurchenko AP Read More surrounded by fellow Nazis. Frank Collins, left the American Nazi Party leader whose father is Jewish, announces we still plan to march in Skokie before the year is out. A court order prevented the party from staging a march on July 4, 1977, in a Jewish section of Skokie, Illinois. Members of the Jewish Defense League were prepared for the march that never came, wearing combat helmets. Bettman Getty Read More A member of the Ku Klux Klan and black man struggle over possession of a stick during an encounter in downtown Mobile, Alabama, on September 24, 1977. A large group of blacks disrupted the Klan's march, resulting in at least 2 encounters between the two groups. AP Read More The platform being used by Ku Klux Klan Grand Dragon Bill Wilkinson dark suit, center lies on the ground smashed by a small sports car driven by a white man named Buddy Cochran, in Plains, Georgia, on July 2, 1977. Several people were injured in the crowd beyond the platform. Cochran, a former Marine and Vietnam veteran, was intoxicated at the time, and reportedly said he just didn't like the way Wilkinson talked. Joe Holloway Jr. AP Read More amid fantasies of a science fiction world stand model makers Paul Houston, Jonathan Erland, and Lauren Peterson, their feet solidly on the ground, in a Los Angeles studio. What they and their collectors did for the current hit movie, Star Wars, they're doing for an upcoming children's TV program, Space Academy. The special effects visible are the spaceship, the Seeker, at left, and the Space Academy complex on an asteroid in the background, photographed on July 26, 1977. George Bridge. AP Reed Moore making her first appearance in 15 years. Princess Grace of Monaco is pictured walking the narrow catwalk atop the Paris Opera House as she narrates a full-length documentary film, The Children of Theatre Street, which tells the story of children being trained at the prestigious Kyiv Ballet School in Leningrad. Bettman Getty Reed Moore. One black South African policeman lies dead on the ground, left, while another is aided by an unidentified man at right, after the two constables were stoned by an angry crowd at East London, South Africa, on September 26, 1977. The second policeman died later in a hospital. The bloodshed followed an emotional funeral for black leader Steve Biko. Anonymous. AP Reed Moore. David Berkowitz, a 24-year-old postal worker, is taken from the Gold Street Station House to Brooklyn Criminal Courts Building on August 11, 1977. Berkowitz was arrested on August 10 outside his Yonkers home as a suspect in the Son of Sam murder case. He later pleaded guilty, and is now serving 6 consecutive life sentences. Bettman Getty Reed Moore. Gene Simmons, bass guitarist for Kiss, gets ready to breathe fire during the crescendo of Firehouse, a number performed during a concert in Hartford, Connecticut, on February 18, 1977. Richard Drew. AP Reed Moore. Consumer advocate Ralph Nader, at a news conference on July 5, 1977, said a move in Congress to overturn the proposal that all cars be equipped with airbags or automobile seat belts is doomed to defeat. 3-year-old Lynn Sutcliffe takes part in a demonstration of the airbag system. She sits almost calmly, as the bag explodes in her face. Bettman Getty Reed Moore. Among the dining spots that people who also eat with their eyes flock to is Windows on the World, one of the city's most talked about restaurants, on the 107th floor of the World Trade Center's North Tower above New York City. From this vantage point one sees Governor's Island at left and the Statue of Liberty. Photographed in 1977. Bettman Getty Reed Moore. Actress Farrah Fawcett Majors, on a tennis court in Los Angeles in May of 1977. AP Reed Moore.